Guys, today we're going to be talking about Nico and what the hell he talking about in NIL. We're going to talk a little bit of NBA playoffs, and we're going to finish off with a little bit of WNBA page bet and selected first round in the WNBA draft, and more on this episode of the Co-Pilots Podcast. Let's go. And it's your boy Joe and Greg, and we're the co-pilots, man. Episode 80, what, 7 or something like that. I forget. But we up there, man. And another edition of the Co-Pilots Podcast. What's been going on, Greg, man?
Not much, man. Just been on the road traveling back and forth. That's about it.
Yeah, man. It's good to get you on, man. You know, it's been a minute since y'all seen me and Greg in on the Co-Pilots Podcast, man. We grinding hard out here for you guys, man. We trying to get you guys the most dopest sports content on the internet. And we're gonna get started today, and we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. As we know, NBA playoffs start this Saturday, and the playing games are going on right now. You got Orlando Magic just up at the half. Wendell Carter is leading them with 10 points right now, and they got the clamps on Atlanta Hawks right now. They're up by like 15. Last time I checked, going into the half. And the playoffs is going to be very interesting this year, you know, especially when you talk about the Western Conference and what they got. Like, we seen a team like Golden State that was sitting in the 60s, sitting comfortably, didn't have to worry about the play-in, and now they're playing tonight. They got Minnesota, which is going to be a tough game. And, you know, this is what we want now. This is the playoffs. This is when all the stars got to they're going to make their money. And I'm looking forward to it, man, this Saturday with some of these games, man. What's your thoughts on this, Greg?
Something I just discovered, man. I just found out that Golden State Warriors are 0-3 when it comes to playing games. You get what I'm saying? And that's something I just found out, and it's crazy because tonight they playing against not Minnesota, but they're playing against Memphis.
Memphis. I knew we wanted to start with them.
Right.
My bad. I thought
And so
Timberwolves played Lakers. I'm sorry.
now the thing about this game here, right? You would think that Golden State should steamroll them easily. Like this is a winnable game. You get what I'm saying? You got all the stars on one team, and on the other team, you have some solid players, but I mean, outside of Ja Morant, that's the only real star power that you have over there. You get what I'm saying? Now you have talent over there, but when you look on, that versus on Golden State, where you have Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, you get what I'm saying? So I would say Golden State is a little bit more loaded. Golden State is actually one of those teams that I got that could possibly win the West. And in spite of them being in the play-in game right now, you also got to look at what went on early in the season. You get what I'm saying? Like prior to Jimmy Butler getting over there and over there in Golden State. So now, you also have to get the chemistry aligned. So that I think that, man, this Golden State team, in spite of them being in the playing game, that they're gonna be a hard team to beat, man. I think that when it boils down, when it's all said and done, that we could be looking at Golden State and Boston as a rematch for the finals.
Wow. Bold prediction, Greg. I'm looking at it like this. When it comes to the Western Conference, man, I think a lot of people got the Lakers favored right now. I think the Lakers is probably one of the more hottest teams in the league, with the addition of Luka. So I think a lot of people got the Lakers going to the finals. But I don't think that the Lakers should be the sure-in. A lot of teams are still disrespecting OKC, and I think a lot of it has to do with them being a small market team. SGA, and I'm gonna do a video probably if not tomorrow, sometime this week, talking about some of the bids. And I think a big that's not being talked about enough is Chet Holmgren. And he's like a reason for why the success that OKC is having this year and why they was able to lock down that number one seed. So I just think that, although he's not the star power that everybody think, and you look at the OKC, the only guy we really talk about is SGA a lot. But you got guys like Jalen Williams, they got a bunch of complementary pieces over there to why they have the best record. You know what I'm saying? So I just think a lot of people overlooking them. I think OKC could get back to the finals, but it's gonna be a long road because this. I think the biggest knock on this OKC team is have they been battle tested enough? We seen what they did in the playoffs last year. Luka was able to knock them off in the second in the semis. So I think everybody's thinking can this team take the next step? That's what we want to see, and I think they can.
I would say this, to go along with what you were saying or whatnot. Do they have the pieces? Yes, I think that they have the team. They had the best record. I would think they had one of the best records last season. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
And to follow up this season with the same, they repeat the same magic. So, but at the same time, we all know, man, when it comes to playoff basketball, it's a whole different ball game. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
We know what
Facts. Facts.
SGA can do. You know what I'm saying? We know what some of these other players can do as well. But at the same time, experience trumps a lot of, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to playoff basketball. You get what I'm saying? Like, so we have to ask ourselves, in spite of them having the bet, like, although they have the best record, are they a better team than Denver? Are they a better team than Golden State? You get what I'm saying? I mean, we can even ask, are they a better team than the Lakers? You get what I'm saying?
Can I answer that? Can I answer
Yeah.
that? Okay, I want to answer that. So when you say those teams now the Lakers right now, you make a case. You make a case. They just played them and the Lakers beat them. Now, when you look at the Denver Nuggets, I don't know. They've been in a tailspin. They just fired their coach. I think right now, when it's just far as momentum, I think OKC have more momentum going into the playoffs versus them. Golden State. Now, again, those guys are champion degree. Everybody over there, and I will never count them out. I can never count Golden State out. You know what I'm saying? But it just seemed like, OKC and them just saying in this particular year, I think they could beat I think they're the best team in the West just this year.
Oh yeah, it's
The Lakers,
definitely.
I feel like the Lakers is like maybe the only team right now that can probably give OKC a game, but I still think that OKC in a 7-game series can beat the Lakers.
I
But
think. I
again,
think.
man, it's just can they take the next step? That's what I want to see these guys. Can they? They folded
So
in the playoffs last year,
So
man. They
so
folded.
now you just answered my question, like with the last part, that what I was getting at. Well, you just got to what I was getting at, when you know what I'm saying, because that's the reason why I asked that, because like we said last year, and we had this same conversation. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, can you get over the hump? And I remember saying the last time we had this discussion is that this is a question that you ask any team until they get over the hump. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
a lot of players done took their lumps. We look at it with MJ. He done took his lumps. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this question was asked, could he get over the hump? It's definitely was asked with LeBron James. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
So this gonna always be a question when you have a young team that haven't proven themselves. So until they prove themselves, they're going to continue to have naysayers that's going to have these questions about, can they win in the playoffs? Do you get what I'm saying? Because now the names that I have mentioned, we have seen them performed in the playoffs. We've seen them perform on the big stage multiple times. You get what I'm saying? Denver Nuggets. You
right,
get what I'm saying? Golden State. Even I think you know what I'm saying, Golden State. And also the Lakers. Well, I'm gonna say LeBron James, but the Lakers, we done seen them make it to the finals. So with the team that we look at with OKC, like we have to act like, is anybody on this team has been to the finals? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at, you know what I'm saying? You have to look at their playoff resume. And it's not that strong. Not saying that they cannot win it, but if I had to bet, you get what I'm saying? It's like they're one of those teams that you have to prove it to me.
all
Until I
right.
see it, this is gonna
I,
always be a question for me.
I feel you. So let me. So we're gonna swing it to the Eastern Conference then. So let's talk about another team that's been under a lot of scrutiny as well in the East Conference, the Cleveland Cavs. A
Correct.
lot of
And that's
people
another
think that hey, for the Eastern Conference, I'm gonna agree with everything. If I don't know what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna agree with what you're gonna say in regards to the proving. Cleveland Cavs got to prove it
right.
because Donovan Mitchell, we saw this act in Utah where he took a team. They had a top record in the rest of the conference. I don't think they had the number one record, but they either like a 3 seed or maybe a 4 seed at the time. And the team was good, and Donovan Mitchell couldn't get them guys out of the second round. So it's like you go to Cleveland last year, y'all make it to the second round again, you guys get bounced. So there's a narrative out there on Donovan Mitchell, like, can this guy lead a team and get them to the finals or get them to at least the Eastern Conference Finals? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the narrative, and I think that's a strong narrative right now because I already know, man. If Orlando take care of business tonight, the first round matchup most likely is going to be Cleveland and Orlando. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm sorry. No, because Cleveland got no, it'll be Boston and Orlando. But let's just say for sake of argument, Orlando is the eighth seed, and they got to play the eighth seed, and they got to play Cleveland.
Right.
Orlando give Cleveland fits.
Right.
They play Cleveland close. It's like that's truly
Went
like a
7 games
matchup.
last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, they went to 7 games, and the last time they played in the regular season, Orlando beat them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I'm like, you know, if Cleveland get the wrong matchup, shit, they might lose in the first round. And
Right.
I think that'll put even more scrutiny on Donovan Mitchell. They're saying, hey, this guy, he's just not that guy.
Right.
So my question to you, Greg, is that warranted? And do you see this Cleveland Cavalier team beating this Boston Celtics? Because I think that's who's the favorite right now, it's the Celtics.
Well, my thing is this with when you look at Donovan Mitchell or whatnot, Donovan Mitchell come in the playoff, he performed. You get what I'm saying? He shows up. So I don't think the question is going to be asked with Donovan Mitchell. Well, you're gonna have people ask that. You get what I'm saying? But I look at his performance on the court. Like, does Donovan Mitchell playoff basketball? I would have to say yeah. You know what I'm saying, to be fair. And but at the same time too, we know that when it comes to the playoff, it take more than just skill, talent, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to call it. It take leadership. So that may be a conversation, that may be a question that may get asked, like, does he has the leadership in his locker room amongst his teammates? You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing that get asked with Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying, players like that. So I think that would be what it be asked. Now I did look at Cleveland before during the trade deadline, and I think that they made one of the best moves to get their team over the hump when they traded for DeAndre Hunter. You get what
You
I'm
said
saying?
that though.
You have a guy that's a 3-and-D over there that he can space the flow out. You know what I'm saying? He's a one of the he's a top tier defender, and he's a shooter, and like I was saying last time, and he's probably having one of his best seasons in terms of scoring this season. Because I think, like, when the deadline came, he was averaging like 19 points. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
somewhere like 19, 20 points. I don't know what he's averaging since he's been there, because of course he's probably may not average that much. You know what I'm saying? He's new to the team, and you have players that's been over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, I don't think it's no excuse. Like, this team should be more competitive. They should be able to compete with Boston with what they have. Boston has the experience, true enough, but Cleveland has the team that should be able to compete. They should be the second best team easily in the Eastern Conference.
They should, man, and I think that when you look at Boston, bro. I mean, when you look at Cleveland, man, I want to see that them compete, and I want to see Donovan Mitchell take that next step, man. And his team do, but I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes when it comes to this Cavs team, man. And then I'm just only speaking when I see them play against the Orlando Magic because it seems
Right.
like, man, the Orlando Magic got the number, man. Uh they be looking lost sometimes out there, man. It's like, when you look at how so young this Orlando Magic team is, and these guys have been able to, you look at this Cleveland Cavs team, they pretty they deep. But I don't know, man. I just don't. It's just something about the Cavaliers, man. I don't think they're gonna get over the hump, man. I don't think
Right.
Donovan Mitchell get them back, man. I still like Boston, man, to win this, and maybe in another team that's been playing pretty good going into the playoffs, and I've been giving them a lot of bullshit. Is the damn Milwaukee Bucks? It was like an 8-game win streak coming into the playoffs. So I mean, I know Damian Lillard hurt; he's not going to be there at the start of the playoffs. But I think we still got Giannis still down there. You know what I'm saying? And we know Giannis can play playoff basketball. So I still think
Exactly.
they're a team that you got to watch out for too.
The biggest question mark, I would say the two biggest question marks, you got to look at Damian Lillard and most important, Doc Rivers. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
And like
facts.
Doc Rivers is one of those. Like I root for Doc Rivers, but I remember saying this like years ago. Like when he left Boston, I remember saying this, and I got into a big debate about this here. You know what I'm saying?
I already
And
know.
and I was like, well, damn, he, if he built it, like, why he just couldn't build another team in Boston or whatnot? You know what I'm saying? And these are the
Hmm.
type of questions I'm like, well, he jumped from there. He went to what did he go right after he left? Was it
He
was
went
it
to the Clippers, didn't
Clippers?
he?
Clippers, yeah.
Yeah.
When they had yeah,
CP3, JJ Redick,
right, and they had a stick,
Blake
but
Griffin, Matt
and,
Barnes,
and
all the boys.
and that was what I'm saying, that was a big question mark for me because I was like, well, damn, like, he's going to a team that's already assembled. So,
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And that's when I started looking at Doc Rivers in a whole nother light when that happened. And I know a lot of other coaches do it as well, but it's like, you know, you going to a ready-made team or whatnot, not a team that you built, but the Clippers on paper, they was already a good team, and you going there, you get what I'm saying? So it's like a easy job. So
Right.
for you to not even like, what I'm saying, for you to underachieve with this team, that brings a big asterisk. When you look at his coaching, like he's solidified. He's a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? He's solidified as a good coach. But at the time, you know, I think like, most people had Doc Rivers as being a great coach, as being one of the top coaches in the league. And I think that over the couple of years, man, that kind of like diminished a little bit. You get what I'm saying?
It did. It really did, man. Because I think a lot of people like myself and you, we look at it like this, Doc Rivers, bro. It's too much talent on these teams for you to be losing 3-1 leads all the time. Losing, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like
Right,
you gotta close the deal. And it's like his late game strategy, dog. He fold, bro, every time. Every
right.
time. That's why I was so shocked when they said Giannis asked for him. I was
Right.
like, that's who y'all want.
And it's not to say that he cannot get the job done, but for me, it's a big asterisk. You get what I'm saying? Because like I say, when we was talking about Doc Rivers at Boston, we had Doc Rivers. Most had Doc Rivers as one of the best coaches in the league at the time. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think that have took a dive as of right now because he has unachieved with multiple teams
It
since
has,
then.
and
You get what I'm saying? And then you
it
got a
had to, bro.
then you got a coach like Eric Spost, right? That has overachieved with the team he had. You get what I'm saying? Like with he had Jimmy Butler. You get what I'm saying? And Jimmy Butler is a great player. But it's like this team was never looked at as a championship team. And not only did he make the conference finals, he made it. Not only did he make the NBA finals, but he made it twice. You get what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Yeah,
He
made
made
it in the
it twice.
bubble, and then it dunked against the Nuggets. Yeah, and that has
Right,
a lot to say though. But to beat up that point too, Greg, that just told you the level of coaching. Like as far as like scheme wise, personnel wise, how to use all that. That shit come into play. And Doc don't got that in his bag, bro. Because if this guy Eric Spoelstra, and we can say honestly say both of those teams that he took, they was like, I hate to say it, but like LeBron S type teams with that San Antonio Spurs team when they played against the Spurs that first time, how LeBron had those type players.
Yeah.
You can kind of say that was the same with both times with Eric Spoelstra. I feel like that was the Eric Spoelstra effect on both of those teams because he just outcoached those guys, man, and he willed his players, man. And
I would say that he had more talent than LeBron had when he was in Cleveland the first time. I
think
gotta say
so.
that. Yeah, cause you gotta think, man. You got Jimmy Butler, man. You got damn what you
Tyler
I can't
Hero,
think. You got Tyler Hero. You got
Bam Adebayo.
Bam. You over there. You get what I'm saying? Then you had other guys that was over there role players as well. So I would say that the Heat had like for us like a star player having pieces around him, yeah, like Jimmy Butler as the core player, he had more around him than what LeBron had around him when he was in Cleveland the first time.
Okay, I mean, I think as for now, I sit back and think about it. I mean, I guess you can say that.
But when you look at both of these teams, like both of these teams did overachieve because I don't think nobody had Cleveland to win, you know what I'm saying, to make it all the way to the final. I mean, they beat
Detroit
the
Pistons,
Pistons, the second coming of the bad boys. You get what I'm saying?
right?
And this was a team that was a few years removed from
Win the
being the
finals,
NBA champs. Yeah, from the finals.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
They,
And
they beat the
I just do.
Lakers, as a matter of fact.
Right. And also, guys, if you guys want to tune in and you want to talk to us, I dropped the link in the comment section. So if you guys want to call in, get off your thoughts. If you got anything you want to say, address to us, man. Hey, come in, tap in, man. We got the link in the comment section, so you guys can log in. We'll bring you up on the show and you get your thoughts off.
Right.
All right. So moving along, man. You got any more on the NBA playoffs, bro?
Uh,
So we're gonna slide right into the NCAA, man, and this right here, man. Nico, man, and NIL is a big problem, bro. As you know, over the course of the weekend and earlier this week, reports came out. Nico, I don't want to mess his last name up.
don't even
From
try to
the
pronounce
quarterback from Tennessee.
it. Don't even try to pronounce it.
I know, man. I ain't gonna try to announce it.
Right.
Basically, this guy said, he was trying to hold a hostage. He tried to pull a NFL move being in college, in a sense.
Right.
He was trying to hold out for some more bread. He wanted $4 million. He was already making over $2 million in NIL money, and he wanted more money. And he threatened to leave. And Tennessee said, Chuck deuces, dog. You can go. And for
Right.
me, I look at this as a win in the NIL era because Josh Heupel is a guy. I mean, if you look at him, his career as a quarterback in college, this guy made it to the national championship game at University of Oklahoma. I think
Right.
he played that year with forget the year it was, but they made it to the national championship game. And so this guy knows what it takes at the collegiate level to make it to that. You know what I'm saying? So he understands the value of team, and not one person can do it by themselves, regardless of are you is the quarterback. And so for him to stand on his square and say, you know what, man, I'm gonna have to pass. You missing meetings and shit like that, bro. I thought it was a win for the NIL era, man. And more coaches are going to be doing this. And salute to Dan Lanning because Dan Lanning, for what reports say, was this guy Nico was poaching us, was called Oregon, like had his agent call Oregon, like, hey, yeah, how much y'all gonna give him? And Dan Lanning and the Oregon told him like we good with our quarterbacks. So my question to you, what's your thoughts on that, Greg? I ain't gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let you take off, bro.
My thing is this, right? Like I said, I listen to both sides. A small part of me understand the move he's trying to make, but you have to ask yourself this: do you have the leverage to do it? You get what I'm saying? Now you can make the argument that you made it to the NCAA champ. You made it to the collegiate playoffs. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, the margin for error was this big to make it to the playoffs. It's not like you made it with a 14 playoff or in the BCS era. You get what I'm saying? Because if you look at your resume, yeah, you was a good quarterback, and at one point you was in the Heisman conversation. But at the same time, your season took a dive as well because you started getting exposed against some of these big teams like Alabama, like Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like Ohio State in the playoff. You know what I'm saying? When Tennessee got blowed out. You get what I'm saying? So my thing is this, right? I understand what he's trying to do, but he does not have the leverage to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, and this is another thing, right? You get what I'm saying? And I'm big on this here, right? Honor your agreement. You agreed to a certain amount of money, right? You get what I'm saying? You agreed to a certain amount. And now because you felt that you overachieved, you know what I'm saying? You played above your expectations. Now you want more money. You get what I'm saying? But they paid you. You get what I'm saying? So you have to look at the flip side. What if you would have underachieved? Would have been like one of those players saying that, let me give y'all some of y'all money back because I didn't play up to the level, to the level that I told y'all that I would play up to. You know what I'm saying? So I think this man, he should have played his contract out. You know what I'm saying? And his junior year, now you have a chance to transfer because it's not like that. It's not like they didn't pay you. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? You fighting for scraps. Like I think his contract, what he got, what it was like
2.4 million.
2.4 mil. I don't know if it was for 2 years or annually, but for a college player, that's decent money. You get what I'm saying? That's decent money right there. So I think that, man, I don't know who was in his ear. I think that they should have rethought that. You get what I'm saying? Now, do I think a team would pick him up? Possibly. But you got to understand this too, right? Whatever team you pick up, they got to have money to be able to throw at you. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And,
Facts.
and not only that, some of these blue bloods, man, some of these major collegiate school programs, man, may be looking at you like, man, you just quit on Tennessee, man. You get what I'm saying? What make us think that you may not quit on us? So, I have to weigh this thing all the way out. You know what I'm saying? I think it set a bad precedent for other kids that may try to argue, bring forth their argument. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
you
I
know,
be honest with you.
at
Go ahead.
least
I ain't mean to cut you off.
because what it's doing is like, we've been screaming this for years that players should get paid. You get what I'm saying? Players should get paid because college has been getting paid a gang of money off these kids, man, for years. But what he did, like I said, I understand the movement, but what he did kind of gave the movement a black eye because you was paid and now you don't want to honor your contract because you feel like you played past the level, you know what I'm saying, the level that, you know what I'm saying, that you sought out to play or whatnot, or you played above your expectations.
You know what I'm saying? And everything you said, Greg, I agree with. The only thing I will say is that what I disagree with is like, you know what I'm saying, you saying that, about playing the players. Granted, I do feel like the players need to get paid. And I think the leverage part where I feel like where he fucked up at was if you was a guy like and I think this says in a nutshell for me, Arch Manning.
Right.
Arch Manning could have pulled this. Think about it.
That
He sat
you saying the
he
same thing
sat
that I'm
behind.
saying though.
Right. And
You
this is
saying
why
the
I'm saying
same,
I don't
like,
think.
and
Go
that's why I
ahead.
say that he did not have the leverage to pull this off. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But now, like, let's say, okay, Arch Manning. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he probably could have pulled that off. You get what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
you have other quarterbacks. Let's say for Shador Sanders, Cam
Right.
Ward, they probably could have pulled this off. You get one. Well, I'm not gonna say, but I'm gonna say Shador Sanders because of his name. Shador
Right.
Sanders and Arch Manning. Those was two of the biggest names in collegiate football last year. You know what I'm saying? And Travis Hunter, of course. You know what I'm saying? Those was three of the top dudes. You get what I'm saying? Even if these dudes even if Travis Hunter probably wouldn't have been a Heisman candidate, if he wouldn't have won the Heisman, he still was one of the biggest names out there. Yes, he could have pulled it off.
with the Arch Manning thing though, right? And this is why I think Nico fucked up at
Yo,
because
you had went out for a long time, so you might want to go back to your point that you're making, because it went out.
the point I was trying to make is the fact that like
Yeah, you froze up again.
all right. So hopefully it don't crash on me no more. Right now it's crashing right now. I don't know what it is doing, but y'all bear with me. Hopefully it don't do this no more. So basically what I was trying to say was right. All right, Arch Manning, he was a bigger name. This guy could have left. He could have left. He
Right,
sat behind the quarterback last year, and although I think everybody probably could say he probably was better than the quarterback that started over him, but Steve Sarkisian, he was loyal to the senior. He let him start. Arch Manning could have dipped out this year and say, you know what, I don't want to be on this Texas team. I can probably go somewhere else and go to a better squad, and you know what I'm saying, to another team, and I know we're gonna be straight. But he
right.
sat his way, he sat and waited his turn, and now he's the starter. A guy like Nico, who ain't got really no pull like that, you try to make a pull like that, like bro, and then you got a guy like Arch Manning who sat there, paid his dues, was humble, and now he's the starter. It's like he didn't bail on his team, he didn't quit. Like you said earlier, like what Power Five school gonna get him? I don't think no Power Five school go for him. I think he got to start at either FCS level or maybe a school like in the Mountain West, some shit like that. Cause ain't nobody fucking with him, dog. I don't think no Power Five, Power Four school is fucking with him, in my opinion.
Um, you have some schools that may be desperate, but I think it's slim though the list or whatnot, because you pretty much build out on your team. You get what I'm saying? It's pretty much like you didn't honor your commitment, you know. And we just seen like when you was we was talking, it was talking about Florida State basketball, that players
Left
left because they
Hamilton,
didn't get paid. Yeah, because they
right,
didn't get paid. You get what I'm saying? So
right,
now here it is, a player that got paid in full, and you still don't want to show up. You get what I'm saying? You missing spring
right.
practice, missing all kind of team meetings or whatnot. That pretty much is spit in the face of your teammates. You get what I'm saying? That's relying on you, because you have players that's on this team that's pouring out their blood, sweat, and tears. That's probably not getting paid nowhere. That's not getting paid nowhere near as much as you, if they getting paid at all. But they're showing up. You know what I'm saying? Now we know, if you got the talent and everything like that, we know how the game is. But at the same time, when you're a player that's getting paid and your teammates are on the front line with you, you know what I'm saying? It's like you have to show a little more decency, man, and be there for them. You get what I'm saying? Now, maybe I could be looking at this all wrong, but from what I'm seeing from what I'm seeing, you know, I understand a player trying to, get more money, what they feel like they are worth. But at the same time, when it boiled down to it, um, you signed that contract. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think it was a bad contract, to be honest. Although that colleges are getting paid a whole lot more money, they're benefiting way more. But at the same time, it's like, this is what you agreed to. You get what I'm saying?
Facts. And let me ask you this, Greg. You know what I'm saying about this whole situation with that, dog. Do you think that this is the time now that the NCAA need to start enforcing shit, or do you think that the NCAA just gonna continue on what they've been doing?
I would say this, right? I think they're going to try to, but and this is why what made the move that much. This is what kind of like make the move bad, because now you're going to have all these kind of rules that's going to not limit the program, but it's going to limit the players. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's what make the move that much, make the move bad, because they're going to put a limitation on what the players can do, not what the
Mm-hmm.
program can do. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So and this moves like this is what they're waiting on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, yeah, now you looking for that what the word I'm looking for? You looking for that loophole. to
Right.
try to enforce certain stipulations or whatnot. And it's like you pretty much you're giving them one by doing this.
You absolutely are. And I think, we just gotta see, man, what move forward. I know one thing that, and we can segue to the next topic on this. I would say one thing that what I think that needs to happen, and I think is the fact that they need to, if a player transfer, if he transferred, I strongly feel they should go back to the old system. You got to sit out of here. And reason why I
Um,
think they should do that is because back in the day, when these guys transferred, think about the guys that transferred back in the day. Back in the 90s, not the 2000s, but like just in the 90s, like the 90s, early 2000s when guys transferred. These guys, it came with a decision. Like these guys might have played the whole season with this one team, and then they sat out, say, their junior year, critical year, and they got 1 year left to ball out. That's senior year, and one of those guys, most of those guys, they so I think if you go back to them have to sit out a year, a lot more of these college players, that transfer portal will not be as thick as it is. You got to sit out that 1 year, or you gonna think, should I move? Ooh, your best move gonna be your last move. All
I
this
would
transferring 2 and 3 schools type shit, no
the
go.
the reason why I disagree with it because in some cases a transfer is warranted. You get what I'm saying? Like for example, I go to a program and I come to play for Nick Saban, but then all of a sudden he telling me he's retiring. You know what I'm saying? Um, I go to a school and I'm under a coach like Willie Taggart. You get what I'm saying?
Sweet Dick Willie.
And I know that this not gonna be beneficial for me. So it's situations that I understand why players would want to transfer. So that's why I disagree with the sitting out for a year because you can have a coach that switch teams. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, he don't have to sit out. You get what I'm saying?
Now, to your point, the NCAA have addressed that though. What people
Right,
don't know, they have addressed that. Now, say instance of a coach leave, everybody has an option. I think I think when who it was that left for another school? Was oh yeah, Washington. When the guy from Washington came and took the Alabama job,
right.
all of those guys from Washington, once he took the Alabama job, they had the option to go in the transfer portal based on that. So they had that. I think for me, I feel you on that, Greg. Those guys shouldn't be punished. Absolutely. Where I'm at with it is the guys like Nico, the guys like fucking Carson Beck, these motherfuckers that's jumping in the portal for more money, and these guys ain't even really proven. What has
Well,
Carson Beck proved to Georgia?
well, Carson Beck jumped in the transfer because he's just not ready to go to the league. I don't think it was more so with money with Carson Beck. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you don't overstayed your welcome. You know, you've been at Georgia for about 10 years now. You know what I'm saying? And now it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? You you 30 years old and you're a senior. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, you
time to
Bo
go.
Nix basically.
You overstayed your welcome. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's what it was for Carson Beck. And I understood like, okay, um, he knew coming out into the draft this season, you weren't gonna be a first round, probably not a second round either. You get what I'm saying?
Since we talking about quarterbacks, they had I don't know, Colin Cowherd, he pulled up a list of the how quarterbacks gonna get drafted. So let's segue into our next one. Hold up. And go to Jack Talk. and we're gonna talk about some draft predictions. But before we get started on that, let's talk about the three. This is the order that Colin Cowherd said the quarterback's gonna get drafted. He said Cam Ward gonna be the first quarterback. Shador Sanders the second. The third Jackson Dart. The fourth is Jalen Monroe, and then the fifth was the guy out of Louisville, Slope. Those are the way the order's going. The order of quarterbacks is gonna get drafted. You think that's pretty accurate?
Cam Ward, Shador, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and the quarterback from Louisville.
Yeah, Tyler Slope.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Milroe is like one of my sleepers when it come to the draft or whatnot. Now, my
Word.
thing is this, like, yeah, and the reason why I say that he's one of my sleepers is for this right here. You know what I'm saying? He got he got a hell of a deep ball. You know what I'm saying? I think that his deep
Mm-hmm.
ball accuracy is underrated. We seen him with the same deep ball in big games. You get what I'm saying? The game
Right.
against Auburn, the game
Mm-hmm.
against Georgia. You get what I'm saying? And when they were down, this what
Right.
kept us out the playoffs that year. That that
Facts.
same that same play kept us out the playoffs. Um, Now intermediate routes and that, you know what I'm saying? When you look at his accuracy, can use a little bit of work. But history has shown that anytime you have a quarterback that's inaccurate with intermediate routes and things like that nature, his ability to scramble and his and having speed helps out a lot. You get what I'm saying? Look at Lamar Jackson for an example. You get what I'm saying? Um, he wasn't a finished product when he came out, but his ability to run helped things out. You know what I'm saying? It helped out with the transition until he was ready to be able to make every throw. And so I think that this is one of the things that will help Jalen Milroe, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL. That this is why that he could be a good NFL quarterback, you know, down the stretch.
Monroe. You say he's a sleeper, right? I heard what you said. So a lot of people think that Jalen Monroe needs to change his position to be a running back. And I'm not gonna disrespect that guy like that because this guy has won a lot of big games at Alabama as a
Right.
quarterback. So I think that a lot of NFL.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of NFL execs is thinking that Jalen Monroe should change. Man, I don't know what's up with my shit tonight, dog. That shit just cutting off like a motherfucker. But all
Um.
right, hopefully they don't do it again. We got some time. We still got a few more. All right. So like I was saying, a lot of execs and everything keep saying that Jalen Monroe need to change his position from quarterback to running back. I'm not gonna disrespect the brother like that. I think they should give a guy a chance to at least play position of quarterback to give him a chance. Like you said, DeMar Jackson was not a finished product coming out of college. To be honest with you though, bro, I think the perfect fit is the Baltimore Ravens for a guy like Jalen Monroe. You get what I'm saying? Somebody he can sit behind. Lamar Jackson, he the franchise. He ain't going nowhere for the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years. He Baltimore. You get what I'm saying? You draft a guy like Jalen Monroe, maybe in the third, fourth round. You know what I'm saying? You sit him on the bench for a couple years. You just let him develop. And when it's time to shine, he ready. Get what I'm saying? I think that is the perfect situation for Jalen Monroe is to go to Baltimore. Do you agree? Or you think somewhere else is
I don't-
for Jalen
Well,
Monroe to go?
I would say this, like, because a lot of times we get caught up in that, just because they have this particular type of quarterback that, um, the same type of the same caliber quarterback should play behind them or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? When Lamar Jackson came in, he came behind Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is far from a mobile quarterback. These two types of quarterback was like night and day. But nevertheless, John Harbaugh was able to coach both of them. He was able to coach Joe Flacco, which he, what I'm saying, they won a Super Bowl together. And he was also able to coach Lamar Jackson when he came into the league, which he won multiple MVPs. And, you know,
You got some playoff
they get
wins too.
close
Got to
every,
count
yeah, they
that.
got well, they get close every time, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
so I don't think that he has to sit behind a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. I just think that, it just take the coach that's going to make the game easier for him. You get what I'm saying? And I think that that's one of the things that a lot of coaches have problem doing is making things simple. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, the style of offense does not have to be as complicated. You know what I'm saying? Make things simple, you know what I'm saying? Be able to adjust what you do around your players or whatnot. Don't get stuck in one form of, don't get stuck in one system. Be able to have your system around your players, you know what I'm saying? Let them be able to showcase what they do well and not what you think they should be able to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that his transition to go smooth.
I agree, Greg. I definitely agree his transition to go smooth, man. And so let's talk about the Jags, man, and what we think they gonna do for the. Okay, hopefully Greg will pop back in, man. So we having some
Yep.
technical difficulties with everything right now, man. Hopefully we can this thing can stay stable right now. I don't know what's going on with the internet right now. We So let's get right into it, man. Hopefully it can stay this connection stay won't freeze up. We'll get right into the Jacksonville Jaguar talk, man. Hopefully it hold up this time, man. Shit, I had to
Only,
switch it over, man, to
only,
fucking desktop.
only, I still got to get ready for tomorrow. Damn. Damn. You heard me?